What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. So the market's in the green right now during the pre-market. It is looking bullish from a technical standpoint, as we said yesterday. And that's despite the fact that we got inflationary numbers above expectations. And this makes things very complicated for the way that the market is moving. I'm going to explain that. So PPI came out month over month at 0.4%. This is above expectations. Okay, although it's a slight decrease compared to before, it's still above all expectations. Core PPI month over month is at 0.3%. That's pretty much just like aligned with expectations. And then we also have down here, core PPI year over year is at 3.6%. That's above expectations, very similar to before. And then PPI year over year is at 3.5%, the same as before, but above all expectations. So basically, PPI is the same as before, but all the data has been above expectations so far, or almost every piece of data. Not the best of news for inflationary numbers. It's very similar to how CPI, the numbers were also above expectations yesterday. Also, initial jobless claims was aligned with expectations, so we'll see what this leads to. Despite the fact that our PPI data was a little bit hot, right? Technically, everything was above what we were expecting. The market's still holding up, and this makes me a little bit apprehensive about how the market's moving. Okay, because Donald Trump came out today and he said that today's the day. Today's the big one. He's going to be announcing his tariffs. He basically said that today. The tariffs should be coming today now, that Donald Trump is already saying this. And if anything, the tariffs are going to be very, very important for the way our trade is going to continue. The reciprocal tariffs. Trump is going to be meeting up with Prime Minister Modi of India. And then before he meets up with them, he should be giving us the tariffs. That's exactly what the press secretary said yesterday. She was correct about that. Trump should be making the announcements, right? He said it today. This is making like a lot of headlines. Donald Trump said his big tariffs are coming today, so he should be announcing them at a news conference. But my only concern about this is this, okay? So we know that for the short term, the tariffs may disrupt the economy, our GDP, trade, and factors like that. Now, every time Donald Trump has mentioned his tariffs, if you look at like the S&P 500, we have dipped so far, right? If you look at the announcement of the Chinese, Mexican, and Canadian tariffs, we dumped, they made a full recovery. Over here, same thing. He mentioned that he was going to announce tariffs the next week. The market went from 608 and saw a temporary dip. He didn't officially like give us the specific details. He just said that he's going to make a big tariff announcement. That's what caused this dip. Now the market is holding up. It's very resilient. And what's interesting is even when we had a hot CPI, even though inflation's going up, the market just dipped and made a full recovery like it was nothing. We had a hot PPI data report today. Inflation was going up again, and the market's still in the green. So that makes me suspect, you know, we could be expecting the unexpected now. Typically, when Trump announces these tariffs, you would think the market would dip, but now I'm not as sure because of this manipulation that's going on, because of the fact that these people keep on pushing the markets on bad news and they're just trying to throw off investors. It's pure manipulation that's going on right now. So please keep that in mind. Um, for news about the markets, just know that we also have Coinbase announcing earnings after market close and DraftKings, excuse me. We just had Sony announce their earnings. They had good numbers so far. Looking at a nice increase in their operating income. They had good earnings, which is pretty interesting to see. They beat on revenue and EPS. And then when it comes to their overall outlook, they had strong overall guidance. So we're looking for about $85.75 billion in revenue and about $7 billion in net income, a 10% upgrade. So good news for Sony. So with that being said, the market looks bullish. We're just continuing to pump on SPY. Watch 605. If we break this, we're going up to about 608 possibly. And if we, sorry, it's 605.5, by the way. If we break that, then I'm going to be expecting 608. If we end up losing 602, we could be dipping to 605.98. And then the market does look like it wants to push more. However, whether or not that happens is going to depend on what happens with Donald Trump's tariff announcements. Typically, he causes rug pulls when he announces these tariffs, but I don't know for sure now because of how they're manipulating this market. You would think that, yeah, we should dip. That's what happened the last time because of how it affects our economy for the short term. But they're manipulating this market like crazy, guys. Like, even though we had a hot CPI, we just made a V-shaped recovery like it was nothing. So you never know what they're going to try to pull. That's why I would recommend just being very careful. Will we get some kind of big rejection and dump after Trump's tariffs, or will we just rally like there's no tomorrow? They're going to try to trick you guys. It's a very, very tricky market, so please be careful. But technically, as of right now, we do look a bit more bullish. SPY is favoring 605 and eventually 608 if we end up breaking resistance. The QQQ is favoring upside if we break, 530. We're looking for 533, then 535 as potential targets. If we end up losing 527, we're looking for 525.5 as our target. If that fails us, we dip lower. As of right now, the 4 hour is looking bullish, and we favor upside on the QQQ. So we'll see if things end up continuing this way. So we'll see how it ends up going. So be very, very patient on the Russell 2000. If we end up losing support at 223, we're looking for a dip back down. If we end up breaking 226.5, we look more bullish. This is favoring and wants to push higher for 226. So we'll see how things end up going. We look a bit more bullish as we have this big range right here, especially as there's this imbalance to fill up here. But like I said before, it depends on Trump's tariffs now, whatever they try to pull at this point. ES is at this trend line of resistance, but notice that we're making higher lows on it. So that's a good sign. It looks bullish. Now, if we're bullish, we're looking for 61.22 as our targets. If we're bearish, we want to see it lose 60.50 to turn back down. What does Donald Trump cause with his tariff announcements? Does he cause us to essentially pump more? Do we start pushing back up to this resistance up here? Or do we get a big rejection back down? It could be either way. For now, we do look like we look bullish, but we'll see just to be safe. NQ looks bullish. It looks like it wants to get closer to 22,000. If we dump after the tariffs come out, we're going to be looking for 21,599 as our support. Could go either way, but right now we are still favoring the upside, excuse me. For Bitcoin, we're just range bound right now. We're looking for 95,000 as our support. If that fails us, I could be looking for a move back down to about 92,500. To be bullish, we want to see Bitcoin break past 98,982. We're stuck in the middle, so give this some time to develop. For Nvda, we look bullish, and this is favoring. It wants to be pushing up to about 133. And if we break this, we have that gap to fill near 140. If we're bearish, we want to see us lose 129. If that fails us, we could be dipping to 126. Could go either way, but we do look a bit more bullish. Tesla's looking a bit more bullish. We're favoring a touch of 350 to fill that gap in this imbalance up here. I think we actually almost touched it already, so 350. If we break that, we're looking for 355, and eventually the 362 area. If we don't hold 350, we're looking for a move back down towards 340. And if that fails us, we have essentially 335. This looks bullish. We're actually favoring the upside for the 350, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. For Apple has 235 as our main support. We're trying to push right here towards the 240s. If we turn back down, we're going to be losing 235, then 232. So watch those supports. If we lose 235, Apple could dip. As long as we're above it, we favor upside. Right now, we have a double or maybe a triple bottom setup. So we look bullish. It looks like it wants to go up to 240 is the most likely possibility. We'll see, though, how Trump's tariffs affect this. So get ready, guys, for a big announcement. Coin is bullish right now. It looks like it wants to go up to about 288. If we lose 277, we could be dipping. So give this some time to develop. Amazon is looking decent. We're watching 228. If that fails us, we go down to 225. Then we have 230s. Our resistance, we're stuck in the middle, just shuffling. Meta looks like it might dip to about 717. We'll see if we bounce off this or not. It's a little bit lackluster. I think we had some bad news that may have come out. I think there's more competition for their AI sector. That's what I'm hearing about. So it might dip just a bit, but then it could bounce off 717 all over again. If that doesn't hold, we will be dipping more. Microsoft is going to be testing 408. If that doesn't hold, we're looking for 405. And Google might be trying to get up to about 188, so we'll watch this very closely. With that being said, guys, the market looks a little bit more bullish. It looks like it wants to push a bit more, but I can't make promises right now. I'm a little bit uncertain about this because, like I said before, we're getting hot inflationary numbers, but the market continues to pump like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't care about the data. It's just being manipulated. So when you have those circumstances, when Trump is about to make his announcement in just a couple of hours about these tariffs, right? Is the market going to pump more? Is the market going to just dump when he doesn't? We don't know yet. So we just have to be very cautious. So that's why I would say just be very cautious. I would not risk too much. I would manage risks very well and just wait and see what happens. So please keep that in mind, guys. And we'll see what Donald Trump announces. I'll give you guys an update once the tariffs come out. Until then, I just wish you all the best. So please have a good rest of your day. I'll be back with another upload very, very soon. So I thank you for listening and peace out.